Our top story today, the Pentagon is releasing new information into the attack in Niger that left 4 U.S. soldiers dead and 2 wounded. It was 2 hours before backup arrived to help the U.S. servicemen ambushed by local fighters affiliated with ISIS. Officials say troops on the ground didn't call for help until an hour into fighting. It then took about an hour before French jets were overhead. Another detail that's left more questions than answers: one of the soldiers killed was found 2 days later, alone, reportedly a mile away. More details may emerge Thursday when the Pentagon will brief both the Senate and House Armed Services Committees on the latest findings. The National Weather Service says at least 9 tornado sightings were reported across the Carolinas last night. The severe weather destroyed a North Carolina airport, damaged homes, and left thousands without power. Fire crews had to rescue about a dozen people from their cars after a mall parking lot flooded. The severe weather threat will stretch to Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City, and all the way up to Boston through the day. Forecasters say as the storm moves northeast, 1 to 3 inches of rain could fall in less than 12 hours. From the East Coast to the West, people in Southern California are bracing for more extreme temperatures today. New heat records were set in places like Los Angeles yesterday, where temps hit triple digits. Game 1 of the World Series between the Houston Astros and the Los Angeles Dodgers is still scheduled to take place at Dodger Stadium in LA today. Closer to home, evacuations south of Roundup have been lifted after a wildfire broke out in the Bull Mountains. The nearly 20 residents in the Johnny's Coal Road area where the 600-acre fire is burning are being allowed back to their homes, but are asked to keep a constant eye on what could be changing conditions. Despite making some progress Monday afternoon, like building a dozer line around the perimeter of the fire, it is still considered 0% contained. The Lazy R fire was first reported Sunday night and burned 2 structures. One was a primary residence and the other was a hunting cabin. The cause is still under investigation. Fire crews from the surrounding departments as well as the DNRC and BLM crews are out fighting the fire, which was made worse by high winds.
In those cases, there's nothing you can really do other than try and get people to a safe spot and protect them, protect maybe some of the structures if they're able to be protected, but mainly so nobody gets hurt. And we can replace grass and timber, but we can't replace lives.
And speaking of wildfires, a group of Republican senators have come out with a draft bill that aims to simplify forest management to help prevent and mitigate wildfires. Montana Senator Steve Daines and Wyoming Senator John Barrasso joined several others in backing the Wildfire Prevention and Mitigation Act of 2017. The crux of the bill discourages litigation against the Forest Service and Bureau of Land Management. It claims it would enhance forest management to reduce the severity of wildfires. The bill would allow forest thinning and establish an arbitration process for any forest activity disputes not subject to judicial review. The bill has its first legislative hearing this Wednesday. On to court news. An employee at the Yellowstone County Jail is on the other side of the bars this morning. The Billings woman allegedly had her 4 young children in the vehicle with her when she ran over their father, who was fleeing on his bike. 23-year-old Emily Innick made her initial appearance in Yellowstone County Justice Court Monday afternoon, charged with felony assault with a weapon. An officer was driving behind Innick outside the police evidence barn on Midland Road on Friday when Innick's vehicle ran over a bicyclist. An ambulance was called and the officer stopped Innick, who had her 4 kids in the vehicle. The oldest child, age 4, told the officer her mother crashed into her father. The girl said her parents had been fighting and her mom was, quote, more mad than her dad. The victim, who suffered road rash, said he left the house after a fight with Innick and she chased him down. Authorities say Innick admitted to the crime. Her bond is set at $7,500. Updating you on a story you first heard right here on Montana this morning. The investigation into a shooting on Billings North Side appears to be at a standstill. Billings Police Chief Rich St. John says the victim, a 35-year-old man, is not cooperating with authorities. Police were called to the 900 block of North 19th Street just before 2 o'clock Monday morning for reports of shots fired. That's where officers found a man with a gunshot wound in his back. The man was conscious when he was transported to the hospital, but his current condition is unknown. St. John says because the victim will not cooperate, the suspect's identity is also unknown. Well, just when it looked as if the GRIZ marching band's trip to the Cat GRIZ game this year was off, the trip now is back on. Due to budget cuts in the University of Montana Athletic Department, the band's trip to Bozeman for the big game looked to be in jeopardy. But thanks to the band's GoFundMe page and money raised through the UM Foundation, that trip is now a go. With more than 200 donations to the page, the band has raised more than $13,500. Band director Kevin Griggs said it will take nearly $18,000 for the 130-member band to attend the game. The Cat GRIZ game is set for November 18th in Bozeman. The marching band plans to continue to raise money until that point.